Okay, so I've just spent about an hour, hour and a half cleaning everything, degreasing. I took the shroud off, got all the oil behind that on the outer cylinder there. Otherwise, it's just going to smoke when you give it to the next owner. If that's the case, what's going to happen to this one, it will be smoking and smelling like hot oil. They may not be okay with that. So let's get all that oil off of there. I did the engine bottom where the engine's going to sit. We'll pressure wash everything, including the fuel tank and the hood and everything later. But for now, I just want to make it so we can get the engine back in when the parts do arrive. I pulled the oil pump out. I pulled everything apart. Flushed it out, every last piece, because if you leave one piece in there, future me is going to hate himself. So I oiled the cylinder, real oil, not just spray oil. I oiled these journals. Now the key is, we can see that crankshaft looks bad and she's got some built up molten aluminum on it. I have a little trick for that. Alright, I got my rig set up here, so I'm just going to keep that at the top, because if it falls down there, it's going to be hard to do what I want to do here. Here's the secret ingredient. 100% lye. Now, this is a bit dangerous stuff. Got a lot of poison warnings and such. So let's not try to get it all on us and inhale it and drink it and whatever else. The method I'm going to use is going to remove that aluminum off of there and leave the steel just fine. Lye will eat aluminum, not steel, not cast iron. So what I think I'm going to do is just take a couple of napkins, soak them out with wet lye, and then wrap it. Got my water. It's kind of about the right size. I'm gonna go a little smaller than that. There we go. I'm gonna put my bag down there for now, so we don't get lye everywhere, maybe. Or maybe we will. Mine's a little hardened up. Let me shake this a little to get that chunk. I just want the granules. That's the best way I know how to put it on. I should be wearing gloves. I should be doing a lot of things. And I'm going to put the plastic. The reason I got that is just so it won't evaporate. And so no animal comes along here and starts licking it up or some crazy stuff. And that will get hot. It is actually already hot. So I'm hoping it won't melt my bag or start a fire here. I don't think it gets that hot, but when it gets wet, it will heat some. With that said, I've did this before, and usually it's several hours to overnight until it can eat the metal off. Okay, been several hours, probably 3 to 4. I just want to see how we're looking here. Let me get my pliers. That's what I had the pliers out for before, but I put them away, forgetting. Oh yeah, it ate up the paper. Oh boy. Well, I guess paper towels aren't the preferred method there. But we can see a good chunk. Let me get you zoomed in there. A good chunk of that aluminum has come off. Now I don't know if we're done, but we're on a good roll. Nice. I'm gonna just, I just rinsed it. It looks terrible. And here, it is beat up. Is that all aluminum yet? I think it is. The other thing you could do here, well, there's multiple things you could do. Sandpaper. It's going to take off the aluminum, or, you know, uh, the stuff for metal. The sandpaper for metal. Can't think of it right now. The cloth stuff. It will almost never take off this hardened steel, but it sure will take off the aluminum easily. So that's something to keep in mind. Oh, it's not looking pretty though. I'll probably redo it some more. I could feel a lot of ridges there yet. A lot of stuff still there, I think. Emery cloth, that's the name I'm looking for. So anyway, I've got this side here, perfect. No dragging. If you don't believe me about how hard this metal is, that file skates. So you will not remove metal with just emery cloth. So go ahead and get aggressive. Let's get the rest of that aluminum off. Feast your eyes on the results. We're looking pretty good, folks. We have a reconditioned crankshaft. We'll work on this. Let me get this thing all cleaned up. Those belts are like rusted onto the pulleys. Let me get all that freed up, and we'll check the blades and everything, get those all good. Looks like somebody's got some kind of aftermarket bolt in there, kind of not really clamping. It's backed out quite a ways. I'll just go through these, make sure all the pulleys are good, the bearings, everything. Pull the blades off, sharpen those. And I'll bring you back when I get that done. Okay, so off camera, the engine repair continues. Parts ordered again. So today, I think what I'm going to do is change the belts. Both belts for the hydro. Well, it's not a hydro, it's an automatic. Both belts. There's a front belt. There's a variable speed. It has like a CVT almost. It's a pulley that shortens, and then the other one gets longer and changes the speed anyway when you hit the pedal. Both belts are absolutely ruined. Well, at least the one that I could see, and I just assumed both are the same age. So I bought both, and let's change those because it'll never be easier to flip this tractor up with no fuel and no engine to spill any oil or anything. Flip it up on end for photographic clarity and ease for me to get to it. And let's get those belts changed. I'm going to start by just removing one of these. I'm sure we have to, you're not going to be able to sneak that back in there. So let's just start somewhere. And this looks like it just pulls up where my hand is. Looks like you just collapse it and it can sneak through all of this stuff. It doesn't go around anything, so I think that's okay there. I may be wrong. Nope. I see something right tip of my finger there. Some guide or some pin is there. So let me figure that one out. I got you zoomed up there on the belt, so you can see it's pretty separated and cracked. And any old belt, if you get it like that, you start losing one chunk out of there, you're going to lose them all. So no plans to keep that belt. This little one is in a little bit better condition. Down here, that's the second one. It's a variable variator pulley, but we're gonna change them both regardless. Well, what if I told you I can't see it because it's behind this stuff? Okay, this stuff's coming off. This is all for the blade. I may have to get a wrench on the other side of that. Well, it's not 9/16, I can tell you that much. And now I can't find it. Because a piece of wood went over the top of it. That's why. I think it was 9/16 the whole time. Bring it back. Now, full disclosure, I had already taken this plate loose when I was trying to get the engine out because I thought I had to sneak under there. So there was a couple bolts from the sides here. But I think you have to get this down a little bit to sneak that belt through that hole. Yeah, that worked for me anyway. Okay, this one's mounted. That's a double sheaf pulley there. That's the variator. So I can't get this pulley, this belt has to come off the top. I cannot get that off the top without removing the other one. So I guess we're committed to doing the other one first and coming back to this one. I'm going to start by just releasing the belt tension here if I can't run that off easy. Let's just get that spring off of there. Okay. got it. No, that one came off easy. Yeah, that one was still, I don't know, not cracked, but not new either. Got my new one. Face the label up. Oh yeah, that's quality. Oh, don't put it on yet. Gotta sneak the other one off. That's why we were doing that. So keep in mind the middle of that variator moves. So if it's hitting something, you may be able to move it out of the way. Whether it has belt guides on it or what it's got holding it there. Sneak it through there. Yeah. Got some tight spots there against the frame. Obviously that's so the belt doesn't get thrown off, but do I have to go over or under? I'll fight with that a little off camera. Bring it back. I'm gonna try removing this axle. I don't think there's a whole lot more holding it there. If I can just get that down like an inch or two, just past the frame so I can sneak that belt out easy. Let's see, what size is that gonna be? That's gonna be half. I'm just gonna try that. I know there's other things holding that, but maybe it'll move just enough. Got a little bar there holding distance. I'm gonna just loosen the other side. Not take it off, maybe. Let's just experiment here. Just can't quite get that belt where I want to get out there. Just can't quite get enough clearance. Oh, let's take them off. They already came off. I see you. Didn't get away that time. No, there's way too much more holding this. I gotta do this. What else? Probably a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna give it an attempt, but I'm running out of motivation for that idea. What size are you? You're not that size. I gotta go down to the mini impact. That's it. will that get me the little bit of difference I need? Yes, almost through the groove 1. Yes, groove 2. That made all the difference for me. Hope you have better luck than I did. Got it. Okay, looking good. Get it on that little pin. Yep. Back of that one. Yep. Okay. That's how that one goes. Man, those new ones are not pliable at all. Put it in the groove first and then work it in. That worked. Which one were you? This one. Bigger socket now. Nice. Now for the baby belt. This little guy. Actually, before I do that, let me finish up this top one. I've got to get this spring put back. And that spring was... Well, I went and opened up the top of the spring there. I better bend that back before we get too excited here. I mutilated it. More better. Okay, that one was, what was it, here? Oh, if I have to refer back to my, where would make sense? That would pull tension. Was it up here? I have to refer back to my own, there, my own video. Bring it back. I got it, I got it. It was never on this. It was here to here, but only when that belt goes back on. Don't get ahead of ourselves here. Let's take it easy. Okay, I got it started here. Can I get it started on the top? Yeah, I can. Now will they meet in the middle? If I pull. Yeah. Can't believe that worked. Oh, and the bottom one doesn't even have to, because it's supposed to go around the big one, not the little one, the whole way. Okay. All right, I think we're there. Maybe. No, that goes up. So this goes. Something's not all the way around something here. I'm going to try reaching in from the other side. And the battery box is there. That comes right out, but pretty sure you're supposed to do this all from the bottom. Okay, I was just double checking myself. Usually when you have this kind of pulley, not the V-groove, but the flat one, usually that means that rides on the back of the belt. Because this one goes through that variator, I think the height changes then, and they use this kind of pulley instead of the V-groove. A bit unusual, so I was thrown off there a little bit. Almost had it. Can I get it with my hand? Yes. Okay. Good. I just keep finding more stuff that needs to be fixed on this tractor. This is a bunch of that nylon landscape netting, I think. Oh boy. Luckily, it's not tight to create friction against that axle housing, blowing out the seals or whatever's in the end there. Just everywhere you look. Yeah, you can see it's a little polished right where it meets the corner there. Not good. Not good. And of course, if we look, we see some on the other side too. Now let's see if we can get this can of worms back in the jar. I've got a spacer that goes in between that and the top plate, top frame. All this stuff should stay together because I put that thing back together. Question is, how do I get this up in there and held? Because that plate is still loose. It wouldn't normally be loose if you had all those side bolts in it. Okay, got that lined up. Oh, we're winning. We're winning. Good. How does this all go? Backwards, forwards. Does this go this way? Well, we'll get those springs figured out in a minute. Nice. Didn't even have to hold it from the other side. We got the Whizlock type nut with the serrations. Yeah, that wouldn't do anything like that. This thing must have to flip around. Let me get my pictures again. Now, admittedly, I'm not underneath the tractor crawling around like an animal, which would make this job multiples harder, but still no excuse for like dropping hardware out of there and not putting it back. Oh, they got one of those washers that goes one way and stops. So I'm gonna have to get that off to get my spacers where they belong. Yeah, it's supposed to be different than I've got it, so I was just happy to get that lined up. I didn't want to have to take it off again. This is supposed to be clocked. Why is that stuck? Okay, I'll have to work on the stuck part. Stuck because it's jammed. Okay, I may have to reconsider how I did those washers and such. But this is supposed to go this way. See, right now this goes fine, but the second I tighten this up, now it won't float. That is incorrect. All right, we got it. It was the washers I put were hitting the flat face of the plate, and they needed to hit only the bushing. Didn't know that. We learn. Put that back how it goes. This spring was over to here. Good. Just gave it a nice rinse down to get all that little grass and stuff out of there. Looking a little better here. All right, got her all cleaned up. I cleaned up under the dash, and I didn't pressure wash it because my pressure washer is a little sick right now. But I did see, this is one thing I think I thought about changing, improving when we took it out. Now that's not hanging in midair. That's the whole muffler. All right, we're looking good. Just working on the engine in the background, ordering parts, etc. And of course, just to show you what else I've been doing, missing bolt there. We got ourselves a new nut there. This one's kind of silly because just the top of the engine hood opens. So many of these, the whole hood comes up. I don't really like that for maintenance because I think you're going to be a little less likely to go in there and play around and look. I mean, you got your oil up here and everything. I guess you really shouldn't be playing around in there anyway, but it just takes that extra few more seconds that people aren't going to do to get at things that they might need to get at. And, you know, watch for oil leaks, things like that. A little bit of a poor design, in my opinion, but maybe that's a preferred hood to some others. Other things I don't like about most new tractors is if they sit outside, that rain's going right through there. I know it's for ventilation, but not the best. The things that were done off camera, not so exciting anyway. Brand new battery, stainless steel hardware, put the boot back on there. And by the way, if you put carburetor cleaner anywhere near an old seat, it apparently does that. Don't know if I can wash that off or if that needs to be repainted, but really looks terrible. All right, in real time, it's been several weeks in the running. I have the machine back together with its rebuilt engine. It ended up needing new piston, new rings, new rod, and a gasket set, and a spark plug, and some new oil, and a new oil filter. But other than that, runs flawlessly. I'll give it a listen. I've already done about 3 hot and cold cycles on the engine to start breaking it in. And when I say break in, the rest is broken in, but you just want to get those pistons to seat right on the cylinder walls. Runs great. Oh, and I saw a little flash as I had shut that off. I had also put one brand new headlight because one was missing. 1156 standard automotive bulbs. It's a tail light bulb for any vehicle, universal tail light bulb, 1156. Under the hood here, we got some what I'm going to consider excess wire. So originally it looks like it had one of those blocks under there, and they kind of tied the wire up there. I think it'd be acceptable if I just folded it over itself a little bit, kind of keep it towards one of them so it's using that as something to hold against. I just don't want that. The muffler is down there. It's quite a ways down, but let's just make it stay out of the way of things. That way it'll never rub on anything it shouldn't. Maybe even bend these up a little. Probably get nitpicky at this point, but keep it out of trouble because it just makes machines unreliable when things short out and then you blow a fuse and then it doesn't work, and you know, it just could have taken 5 seconds and done something like that. Quick note, this is the most basic tractor ever. I mean, pretty basic, not too bad. It's the automatic transmission one, they call it. But here's the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's got 2 dummy lights here. So when you go, like right now, I have one of the springs off the mower, so it's not returning. But watch this. When I go to turn the key, it shows me 2 dummy lights. The parking brake and the PTO are not attached. So watch this. If I do the brake, it shows me what's wrong. So basic. But man, is that helpful when you're trying to diagnose problems. You can immediately tell that PTO needs to be pulled back. Pretty cool. Never, ever have seen that. I've seen a light, like on John Deere, there's a light when the PTO is on, if it's an electric one, but never with the manual lever. Pretty cool. All right, now I want to put this deck back on. I'm going to put the deck on today, but I will not be able to completely finish it because a spring I'd borrowed off of this tractor for another project disappeared. It went from the east coast of the United States. I'm in the Midwest. It went all the way to California and then wasn't seen for 4 days. And then it's a comedy of shipping errors. But anyway, hopefully the thing's coming soon. Was expecting it several days ago, but they literally probably flew right over my state and on the way to miss delivering it. So I'm going to get this on there, but we're not going to be able to run it today in real time. That clears beautifully. When you do this, I recommend, if possible, put your deck height lever all the way up. It gets the little levers that grab the deck, the hangers, gets them right up out of the way in a position that's much more suitable. Front ones go on easy. Now I'm going to just lower this probably all the way. I still may have to pick up on that deck a little to get those clips in, but just getting the back clips in and then putting the belt on, and then I got to wait for the spring that I got to put. Anyway, yada yada. That's where we end for today in real time. All right, so what we're looking at there is the floorboard. I did just tighten up this bolt because it was probably rattling terrible. You could kind of see the rust line there. But everything on this whole tractor is in fairly good shape, rust-wise. Not too bad, like even the hitch. Well, it's dirty there. That's from the rain splashing up mud. But everything is pretty good, except for this foot pad has taken a whooping. So I think I'm just going to refinish this one little area here. I've got some free black paint. Let's give it a little bit of dress up. We're not going to make a new one out of an old one here. Still, you know, issues like the seat, things that I'm not going to touch. But let's just give this thing a fighting chance to look good. I'm going to give the machine the decision on if we're going to pull this rubber mat or if we're leaving it in place. I do feel the poke through things down there. I don't know if these are Christmas tree fasteners. Yeah. Okay, I think we'll take this off. It'll be good to get underneath it because I see more rust under there. There is a little fork-ended tool made just for these, for automotive, which I have, but you know, of course, it's probably buried underneath 50 things because you need it once in a year maybe. Yeah, that paint is just, it's all rusted underneath the paint. John Deere's are well known for that. Luckily, this isn't one. Yeah, I'll clean that up a little bit and then we'll paint it and put this right back down. It'll look nice and fresh. Just like any rust, it's always worse than you thought it was. It looked like it was just around the edges. It was not. Where are your gloves? Oh, yeah. That'll clean up nicely. Mini wire brush. And I missed a little spot. Rats. Apparently carburetor cleaner curdles that paint a little bit if you leave it on there too long and kind of expose some of the other areas that need to be painted. So I'll call it a win still. This is all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes a lot of times when I cut away. I'm not sure to really include it. I like to show what it takes to do what I do, to revive these machines. But I don't like to bore people either. It's a lot of this little kind of stuff. Going and getting tools and things like that. It's all part of it. Got some general purpose spray paint here. I don't like to cover over a sticker ever. So I'm going to use my little running board upside down as a masking piece of masking. Flat surfaces are always nice because it won't run. Nice. I got the spring that I borrowed put back on. Now let's get this foot pad put back. I was able to use patience and not mess with the tractor until it dried. Come on. It's always got to be one in the crowd. Oh, look what I done to it. Got it. And one of the things that I had originally forgotten to purchase, that got this guy with the new pre-filter. Oh, they got that thing right up against that hood. That's really poor. Really poor. Nice. There it is, folks. We got a good working engine. All maintained with new air filter. Of course, oil. Repainted that part. Fixed up. Sharpened the deck. Put the new belts on. Whatever else we did, I can hardly remember anymore. Needs a good wash. But let's see if this thing runs. There it is, folks. That's what a lawn tractor needs to do. She goes, she stops, she reverses. The PTO and the blades work. And I hereby declare that entire machine Wildwood certified. Thanks for watching.